What if you could slide into 1,000 different worlds where it's the same year and you're the same person, but everything else is different? And what if you can't find your way home? Well, Robert Jeffries and I found the gateway. Now the problem is finding a way back home. This is Stumbling Through the Multiverse, a Sliders recap with Rain Coleman and Robert Jeffries II. What's up, suckers? No. What's up, y'all, and welcome back to none other than the greatest review coverage of Sliders, the sci-fi show that is underrated, but we're going to make sure it's rated by rating it every fucking episode. I am co-host Ray Coleman, the Carefree Black Nerd. I have a bio signature that may be doubled in the future, and I'm joining me today with the host with the master plan. What's up, Robert?
What's going on, man? Man, double signature.
Yes.
But I'm doing good. Happy to be here. Happy to talk sliders, and yeah, it's like I said last week, stuff is crazy.
Man,
so this is a kind of a chill spot, to just talk, and have fun and all that good stuff. So yes, I'm happy to be here.
Good.
So, I guess I got something I can talk about. I didn't have a segue, a better segue than that. Just an awkward silence. But last week I talked about the book that I have a short story in called Terminus 3. And it's a sci-fi, fantasy, horror, but speculative fiction anthology all about Atlanta. And my short story is called Monsters. Okay, this ain't working out. It's called Monsters on the Mount. And it's about two sisters who have to fight both literal and figurative monsters at Stone Mountain Park to save the world. So, it's one story of many. I think we have like 20 to 30 short stories, all featuring works by writers. Like I said, all the stories focus on Atlanta, Metro Atlanta, Georgia. And I got my comp copies this week, so it was like Christmas. I like getting stuff in the mail, like books and comics and stuff. So, published by MV Media. Check it out on Amazon. You can get a digital or a hard copy through there or through the MV Media website. So, I'm proud of this one. I'm happy. A little different than what I normally do. Maybe not much, but I get a chance to deal with the racism of Stone Mountain Park. So, in my own science fiction-y way. So, complicated history for that park. It's a beautiful park, but the history is, if you know anything about it, is bad. It's just bad all around. So, but that's why I decided to set my story. So check it out. I will definitely give. I'll send a link over. Yes. We'll have it in the show notes. But proud of the work that we all did for this book, and this is a third in the series. So there's a Terminus 1, a Terminus 2. I think I actually have a story in the first Terminus. So excited, and hope people get a chance to check it out.
Good deal. Yeah, make sure you check them show notes. Check them, hit them links, and see what's going on. Share and purchase, of course. And thanks for sharing. And this is good. This is exciting.
Thank you,
all these Amazon, these links in the show notes. Yeah, y'all better check this shit out. So y'all come back for the next episode. Let us know what story is your favorite. No, well, I'll tell you what's not my favorite: being double crossed. Please make sure that you use that hashtag STTMPod when you're discussing the show and when you're talking about it and talking about it online and whatever else. But for this episode, it is season 3, episode 2, where a group of people discover the secret of sliding and intend to use it for evil. Again, I'll say I could do it at the top of every episode. This is my first watch through Sliders as an adult. I've probably seen a couple episodes as a kid, but I have no memory whatsoever. So all of this is brand new to me. When I watch the episode, I never look at the synopsis until we sit down to record. I just go into it blind. So whatever happens, happens.
Mm-hmm.
Robert, on the other hand, is a Sliders doctorate holder.
Yeah. God.
Man.
I hope that will make me some money. Like,
I mean,
something. So
hey, the reboot happened. You know, they know where to find some good writers and whatnot.
I hope. I wish and pray. So
this episode, my initial thoughts, I don't fucking know. I watched it and I was annoyed, but I also enjoyed it. So I was like, was I just not in the right headspace when I watched it? But then when I went through the second time, all those feelings repeated, and I know what a lot of that stems from. So I'll say overall, first thoughts, I thought this was a solid Sliders episode. And I thought they did some really good things. And I'm interested to see what my ranking will be at the end of the episode. But initial thoughts, this was interesting. I'll say that.
Okay. So my initial thoughts, I was trying to pull up the lyrics of that classic Paula Abdul song where she danced with the
cat.
Was the cat? Yeah, two steps forward, 3 steps back, or whatever. We come together, opposites attract. So so I got the lyrics right. So the part of that classic lyric that I think applies to this episode is the introduction of Logan St. Clair, which I liked, right? And I like this world, but the 3 steps back or whatever part of the steps back part of that song is how they handle Remy. And that will give you an idea of where our review, I think, is going to collectively go. I think there was a lot of good in the episode, but it was just like they keep backsliding, and it's very apparent that I don't think these people knew what to do with Remy. Like I have, and one of the things that and also, this is going to piss you off even further. I found a little factoid that said that initially this was supposed to be the season premiere for season 3. Yeah.
This?
Yeah.
After coming off of okay.
Yeah. So I don't know. Like so we can get into it if you're ready, man. But those are my initial thoughts.
Yeah, I'm ready.
You ready?
I'm ready. Yeah.
So we start off with the Sliders jumping into or sliding into, I call it limited resources world. And they jump into an above ground. No, actually, no, it's a train tunnel. And the professor actually noticed he catches each of the sliders, or at least tries to make sure that they don't hit the ground, which is new. So, and I think compared to like how they always just stumble over each other, it was them trying something different. So, so the first thing that I noticed is that Rembrandt is wearing his outfit from like the first season, from season 1. It's just like, it's not even loud. It's like, what is it? Like polyester? No, not polyester. Silk, like a silk suit. Yeah, like silk suit. And he's complaining about his new shoes getting messed up. And it's the reason I'm pointing this out is because like clothing wise, we got away from like the loud outfits after the first season, and he was dressing like a black sitcom father from from the 90s. Cool. So to see him kind of in this outfit was really weird. So they slide onto these train tracks. I do like the idea of them sliding into danger, right? Because last week it was the the plane, and the professor is it said the professor is getting it. He is gone. Okay, anyway, so they see that they've slid in front of a train, and the train is actually coming. And what I put down in my notes is that the professor is gone. The professor is running his ass down the tracks because they're trying to get away from danger. Wade is yelling out that they're not going to make it, and then Remy falls down because of his new shoes or whatever. And it's like, why is he in these shoes? Why is he in this outfit? And he's just yelling. And they the thing that I will say that I liked is that everybody came back to help him up. Because he was stuck, and the train was, about to hit the four of them, and then it just stops. And then they hear an announcement that there's a power blackout, and the train calls the train to stop, because apparently the train is is like an electric train, sort of like a bullet train. And then that's when we go to the credits. So since we have this like big opening, backsliding opening with as far as a Remy, let me get your thoughts at least with this.
Bullshit. I don't understand. We've been traveling for 2 fucking years. Are we really that hung up on clothing? That's what really messed me up. I was like, it ain't even about fashionable. Oh, they don't know how to dress black men. I don't care about that right now. My issue is, why do you give a fuck about that? Because we could have very well slid into a world full of water again. What are you talking about? So, and that's one of the things that does bother me about this show. Like every episode, I can accept that maybe they did a couple slides, between episodes, but every single one, it's like, even when there's a big, heavy, critical episode, it's like shit don't matter. Like the continuity is broken. This was odd, but it was another example of like, do you guys know how to write black men? And I say that because it's not difficult, because you write them like you write a white man, because he's just a regular man, and then maybe add in some cultural things to him. But this was just like, how when you get older, like for me, peak music is 90s R&B. I can do some 80s soul. I can do 70s soul, some 80s. Like that's, to me, that's music. And I am growing up. And so now I went out to eat with some friends yesterday, and my homegirl was like, oh, I was babysitting my niece and mentioned Aaliyah, and she said, who is that? So it's like, what do you mean, who is that? So we're getting further away from the 90s. So that's not going to be cherished by people coming up. So there's very well possibility that I could go on and make a movie in 2053 and be working with some kid who has never heard of Aaliyah. So now when I start to make a soundtrack, I'm stuck in the 90s, but they've moved forward. That's what Rembrandt feels like to me with these people writing him. He feel like there's a particular type of black man that you're used to seeing, that you maybe grew up with, and you've translated him to the 90s. Well, no. You've brought that vision of a black man into the 90s, and he does not fit. And that is a problem. That's why Rembrandt feels like he's in a whole nother show sometimes. And this opening, though I did like opening with Danger, and I know we have to account for this being in the 90s and being a serialized show and all that. But if I am sliding into a train coming at me, why am I not turning on the fucking sliding machine and sliding right the fuck back out of there? We already thrown off. We already lost the coordinates to get back home. Why does it matter if we slide one more time? We are about to die. Like, for the show, I get it, but it's like, there's a train coming. What are we doing? You have the means to get out of here. Right. So I don't know. This opening was stupid to me.
It was, I think, like, and I see your point about, like, as far as like the fashion thing. I think because that was so associated with him and his like background, and the whole like comical look at a washed up celebrity, R&B celebrity. I don't want them going back there, and that's the thing, and that's the thing that frustrates me, especially with what his storyline is this episode, which is pretty much the same as The Weaker Sex, right? Aside from like one goofy ass Tyler Perry-esque moment. We're going to get to that. So I don't No, there's make a long. I keep bringing up Star Trek. But I remember watching this clip, which was a behind the scenes interview with one of the writers, and he was complaining about like, well, we have to write an episode about Geordi, and he was like, he was essentially like, who gives a fuck about Geordi? We do, right? So it's very apparent when you don't care about a certain character, and it don't have to be just a black dude, a woman, or whatever. It's very apparent when a creator doesn't give a fuck about a character. And I can give you countless examples where we as fans have been watching it and we're just like, we like this person. Like, why are you treating them like crap? And that's kind of like the episode before, the Navy background. That seems pointless now. That seems pointless because you backtrack into him being on this whole kick of like, well, I just, my fans, that whole thing, and everything is surrounding singing. So anyway, so I don't know, like people watching this, they'd be like, he was just a comic relief. Like, no, he was the only representation that we have, and y'all don't know how to write him. So that's my brief rant. So we're on the city streets now of when I say no resource world, limited resources world. The sliders actually get out to the streets. It's nice. I'm glad they aren't on the universal backlot. Looks like they went on location for this one. They noticed that people are actually going up to the one gas tank in the area, and it's like $410 a gallon. You have folks using bikes, solar powered cars, like more like futuristic, type of stuff. And you see businessmen using skateboards. So you get the idea that some resources are at a scarcity. So Rembrandt tries to actually to further enforce this. Rembrandt goes to a hot dog stand and wants to get a hot dog. And the guy asks, is like, are you making a joke? Are you trying to be funny? And he asks, like, do you want green or yellow? I think it's called geomash. Yeah. So it's just like, I don't know, like some mashed up pasty looking stuff, which isn't food. So, and he says that, he tells him like, you can get a hot dog if you look it up in a dictionary. So I guess meat is at a scarcity. So a car drives up all of a sudden, and I think it's like a Rolls Royce. It's a really nice car. And there's a lady driving it. I think her name is it Naomi? It's, give me 1 second. Monique. Her name's Monique. Attractive, young woman, black woman gets out, and on the license plate it says "Crying Man," and she gets out of the car in this really nice dress, and apparently she's a fan of the Crying Man, and immediately offers them a proposition. So we're not like 10 minutes into this, and they're just like throwing this like plot, this B plot thing where Rembrandt is going to be separated from the group. The one thing I will give the weaker sex is that they built up to that moment when that lady came in. I don't want to say propositioned him, but basically came in. So like they had a chance to actually go and chill in the hotel. And then that's when Rembrandt went out and was making money, I think, for like 2 days straight. And the second day was when he met that woman. Like here, immediately, they're like, fuck it, we got to get him off the board somehow. And so the woman, she's like, and as a writer, it irritates me. This irritates the fuck out of me. I'm sorry. And she says, basically gives him a proposition. They cut to Quinn, Wade, and the professor reading the newspaper, how they get their information. And the headline says, Congress has put horses on the endangered species list. The newspaper is only one page. So once again, resources are at a scarcity. And the double, Rembrandt comes over to the group and says that she wants to fly him to LA for the day, get him lunch, take him to a hotel. Wade says this is a bad idea. The professor is like, get it. And Quinn is like, he says, well, we got 32 hours. So I guess the idea is that he's going to fly to Los Angeles and then be flown back to San Francisco where they're at now. So we'll get into the whole location thing. And then Rembrandt's just like, well, let's go with this woman that I don't know and just go and chill. So the next scene is we're in the streets again. Quinn actually, reads in the newspaper, I guess the one page, that the world is running low on resources, natural resources, and that the area where they're at has actually been combined with Los Angeles to create this one big area called San Angeles. Is what it is. He notices as they get onto this. I don't want to call it a rickshaw. It's like kind of like whatever. They get on this like shuttle
Yeah.
to travel to Dominion Hotel, and that was the thing they tell Rembrandt, meet us at the Dominion, in 32 hours. So, anyways, the hot dog vendor in the distance is actually snitching to these guys on like these three people on motorcycle. Like you think they're motorcycle police, and then
Mm-hmm.
they come after the sliders, and Quinn tells Wade and the professor to get out, to get off the shuttle, and then we have this like this chase scene where they run upstairs. Excuse me. Quinn throws stuff at the people at the at the motorcycle cops, and long story made short, they wind up getting trapped at a fence. And the other thing, once again, that I noticed is that the professor is getting it. The
Hey.
professor is like,
Yeah.
as a big man trying to lose weight,
Hey.
I am falling into respect. Like the professor is like he gets my respect,
Mm.
and so they try to hop this fence. It doesn't work, and then this lady reveals herself as she says, Logan, and she welcomes the sliders, and she recognizes the professor. She calls him Maximilian, by his first name. So between there's a lot happening here. Actually, I'll go into the prototonics. The sliders. The next scene we see is the sliders walking with this lady. Her name is Logan St. Clair, and she apologizes about the guards being a little overzealous with the guns, but she said that they have been tracking objects that slide between dimensions and not the sliding tunnel. So one of the things that she explains is like when we saw that you had slid here, we knew that you arrived, and that's part of the reason why they found them on the city streets. If that explains everything. So she said this is the first time she's actually met sliders because they haven't perfected the art of sliding, and everything that they send in comes out kind of effed up. And apparently, this world's professor decided to slide and he died. So they don't he didn't come out of the opposite side. So she asks, is like, have you met your doubles before? And Quinn speaks about how they started sliding. Like he starts giving all this information. Their bodies get scanned as they go into the laboratory. And one of the things that I noticed in the background that we notice in the background is there's this weird executive guy staring at them from the background. And so as they go into the lab, there's a lot of advanced technology. The object, one of the objects that Logan sent through to do sliding, it comes back and it's still kind of burned to a crisp. So one of the things that we notice is that on this TV, that there are they're tracking two sliding tunnels. The one that the sliders came through and the probe. And what she explains is like, if you can help us perfect our sliding technology to the point where things aren't coming back burn up, then we can I'll offer to help you. We can try to help you if you help us. And, Quinn is all for the idea. So, so going back to, when they first hit the world, the city streets to now, what are your thoughts?
This is so stupid. My thing is, do these motherfuckers not learn? This is what gets me, and I know they're written this way, but why are we getting to a new world and then like going to ask for a hot dog and then getting mad at there not being any hot? I guess for me, I'm thinking I would want to blend in as much as
Mhm.
possible, figure out my basic needs: food, shelter, and water. And then how do let's observe those, and they never do anything. And I don't think it would make the show less interesting. Like if they just hung back a bit and watched these people eat all this green shit, then
Yeah.
ask them, what I'm saying? I just feel like they just do a lot of stuff that I think is very stupid, considering you having the wrong kind of money got you locked up in jail. But yeah, we
Yeah.
always spending money everywhere. We got some money. I'm like, what? Make it consistent. Um, these idiots never scope out the scene. That was my first thing. Why do they keep walking off with strangers? This is what I don't understand. Rembrandt and this girl, she's a beautiful young black girl, sure. He's not been hard up for getting a woman. There's so many worlds where he has just went to some woman's bed, and we've seen him getting dropped off the morning after. So it's not. My thing is, this woman can be a cannibal. We don't understand anything about this world, and you're like, oh, let me go with her. Not only let me go with her, she's gonna fly me to LA.
Yeah.
Why would I fly anywhere? It's just. I think that was rushed and it was dumb. Where if you truly wanted Rembrandt to be off and doing something else, there was a much better way to do that. And also, you didn't have to spend the time with that opening that we got. Like, you could have cut that short. Or she could have been the train conductor who got off like, oh, well, hey, y'all, what are you doing here? It's, we got 30 minutes. Or like, there's so many other ways to have gotten us here. And I understand her role in the show later. But even her role, I'm going to get ahead of this, even the reveal and then the reveal after that, like, because the reason why the clothes fit the way they did not make sense to me. I was like, what the fuck are we doing? So even her natural progression in this episode was weird. So like, you could have just did anything else. She could be a cannibal. And the Dominion is such an annoying ass thing, and I'm okay with it. Truly, I am, because it is consistent. But it's like, you keep going to a world, and that should be one of the first things you check for is, where is the Dominion? Why are we always separating? I don't care if I slid with 4 16-year-olds, if I slid with 4 84-year-olds, if I slid with somebody on the other party line politically than me. We've been in this thing for 2 years. We not separate. I don't give a damn. The only way we should separate is if it benefits us safety wise. Like, Rembrandt's the only black guy, so there's that. But then also, Wade's the only woman. You go to a world where women are in danger. We've seen the effects of like so many different things that could happen, and yet y'all motherfuckers still just like, hey, this shit is fun. You don't really care about getting back home. Like, not desperate enough for me. That's fucking dumb. And I got the professor stay running. That motherfucker be on the move.
Let's go.
I appreciate that so much. I don't care if that only took them 12 seconds to shoot. Them camera angles and that big old body, that man be. That is Hank McCoy from the 90s if we had got a live action X-Men. That motherfucker be on the move, and I love that. Quinn is a dummy, and I do not like him. I probably will never like him. For the show, I think he's a good enough guy, but this is the dumbest. This is anti Scott Summers. How do you meet a motherfucker because it's a pretty woman? Let me give you my social security number. Let me give you my fingerprints. What? This takes your bio heat signature. Oh, how are you sliders doing? We've already encountered sliders, albeit a slightly different species, that can slide, and they're trying to kill us. Why the fuck am I telling this girl? No, you tell me what you know. If you expect it, it's just... I don't like Quinn. He's the worst part of the show, and he's the worst even more so than like the professor who had a bad attitude. He was an asshole. Rembrandt, they bullshitting about his depiction, sure, but like, Quinn is the every guy. He's the attractive white man who can do anything, and yet you still do stupid shit. You're boring. Like, if the professor does something stupid, okay, he's the asshole. If Wade, okay, they don't really give her enough shit to do, but we know she stands for righteousness or whatever. Like, everybody has been depicted enough in a way where if they do something stupid, we can blame it on the writing, but it's also like, they aren't really written well or fully rounded or in a way that makes sense completely. But Quinn is just the star guy, but yet you still keep. What are you? I didn't trust this. I don't want to get ahead of us, but I was like, because she's pretty, nigga, get the fuck out of here. What do you mean? You got a woman pregnant? You almost got killed by because a pretty blonde woman's Negan husband was about to whoop your ass on like Apocalypse World. You keep getting. I just want him to meet a butch lesbian who don't want shit to do with him. Maybe that'll snap him out. So I don't know. That's all I got. I hate.
No. I mean, I can see it. Like, it definitely is getting to the point where he just seems like one note and bland. Yes. And that note isn't necessarily one that we're interested in kind of hearing all the time. The other thing that should have tipped him off, I don't know if I'm getting ahead, but the color of the portal. as soon as you see it's the color of that portal.
Like nigga, hellfire,
Right.
brimstone.
Like you just encountered an entire race of beings who, at least like start mathing. You got to start mathing the stuff. So we go to the Los Angeles part of San Angeles. Well, let me ask you then, what did you think about the San Angeles thing?
Um, I liked it in theory. I just wish they had have done more with it. I feel like
Yeah.
this is like we got so many different worlds, and if you're thinking like practical stuff, like I don't know, using a sheet and a light to create a ghost versus special effects, I think this is. If we had to spend more time exploring that, because I'm not from California, I've never been as an adult, but I know that something is different, and if they had have done a better job of kind of bridging that gap, because I feel like that San Angeles concept probably made sense, but if you work and live in Hollywood and LA, of course it's going to make sense. But when the show is broadcasted to the rest of the world, I'm from the Midwest. That shit, I was like, okay, I know there's San Francisco and there's LA and Oakland. I know these things, but they never spent enough time, because even if you didn't adequately explain it, if you visually had LA look a certain way and the other parts look a certain way, like I don't think they did a well enough job, but I did like it.
Yeah. I think it's one of those things, because like you get those shots of the Golden Gate Bridge with the two with like the electric trains on there. Yeah. So I think that was like, when you're in San Francisco part of San Angeles, like this is that. And then Los Angeles, they're two distinct cities, like definitely. But one of the things that I'm just sorry, I'm going to try not to complain about this as much, but Los Angeles, this is where they're filming, right? So you're kind of losing something when you say like, oh, okay, well, we're partly supposed to. The reason Vancouver worked for San Francisco is because now Los Angeles is by the ocean, right? But Vancouver looks like San Francisco in certain respects. It's kind of the temperate, it's kind of not rainy all the time, but it feels like a city by the sea, by the ocean.
Okay. Yeah.
And Los Angeles sometimes feels like it's not tropical, but it feels like, let's go to the beach. Let's go to Los Angeles. Like it feels like glitzy and, it's like a metropolitan area. But I think that's why Vancouver did better because whenever they keep saying like, we're going to San Francisco now.
Yeah.
And it's just like, it feels like LA is just like, I can't, it's not jibing as much, but I do like the explanation that we'll get later on, because they had to explain why this doesn't look like San Francisco anymore.
Man, look.
So we go back to the Los Angeles part of San Angeles. We're at a restaurant. Monique is telling Remy that she's rich because her father created the paperless toilet. And Remy is like, how does that work? He's like, oh, don't worry. It's whatever. So she invites him to her house, to her hot tub. And then she's like, and she also mentions, I ordered your favorite dish. And it's called frog sweetbread. I think that's what she said. It's something like sweetbread. And it just looks nasty because all the food on this world just looks disgusting. But I think the other thing that she mentions was that this world's Remy was on tour. And that might have been in the scene previously, but he eats the food, he gets sick, and as he's trying to get to the bathroom, he runs into the bartender, Elston Diggs. And Elston Diggs. And the bartender's like, "Oh, it's you, the crying man." And he asks for his signature, and Remy signs like something for him, and he's like, "This is going to be a whole lot of money when you're dead." And I'm like, God. And he tells him to go to the bathroom where they have actual toilet paper, but it's going to be like $5. But he's like, "This is not as much of a wait." And so then the bartender goes to Monique and says, talking to her about hanging out with Remy, and says something like, "You're courting danger, like you're living dangerously or something." And then she's like, "Well, we're engaged." So you realize that she might be a little not all there. So we go back to San Francisco, the Prototonics. Adrian, the corporate guy that was staring at them from the back when they were, back, whatever room, he explains that he shows Logan the scans of Quinn and Logan side by side, and he says, "You're each other's double," and Logan is like, "Whoa!" So it's that this is this world's Quinn. Adrian, the executive, tells Logan, like, "You're gonna have to find a way to keep Quinn here to help us with our sliding problem," and that it goes to break. So this is like the evil, bad guy side of things, or things aren't all what they seem. So we come back from the break. Wade, Quinn, and the professor are at the lab, and Quinn is working at the computer, and Wade is like, "We're being watched," and then Quinn is just like, "Well, they they don't want their stuff getting stolen or whatever." Basically, he's like, "Fucking, y'all are being paranoid." And the professor is like, "I don't believe my double of this world would slide without safety measures." And he also tells Quinn, like, "Hey, slow down with sharing all this information with people that we don't know." And so then Logan comes over, because now that she's figured out that this is her this is her double, and she's got to get this information. She's just like leaning close to him, rubbing his shoulders. And Quinn is just like, "Oh, okay." And then, like, Wade and the professor are looking at this, and they're like, "Why isn't this guy understanding what's happening?" Whatever. So and then he starts showing the timer to Logan, and there's a lot of techno talk, which I know I'm hopping over. But so basically he's still kind of believing that she's legit. And the professor says, "Maybe we should take a break." And then Quinn's like, "Well, y'all can go to the Dominion. I'm about to talk science with Logan." So next scene, I'll just roll into this. We go to the hotel. They get off this shuttle taxi thing, and and the professor is complaining because apparently, like, the cost of the trip, but then also they charge an overweight surcharge, because they always got to make jokes about his weight, right? Crazy. So Wade is explaining, I think she's reading a pamphlet from the hotel, and apparently the city goes through like 5-minute blackouts every 3 hours, and water is limited to 3 minutes. And everything in the hotel suggests that guests should shower together to conserve water. And so, I think there's he makes a joke. Well, no, actually, the hotel worker comes up and is talking to the professor and says, "Oh, you have a new friend," and is suggesting that the professor would use the hotel to bring women to. And so the hotel worker says, "She's cute, but she's not like your regular nooners." And the professor says, "What do you mean?" And he says, "Well, the last one, she's dark. She was tall and dark haired and brainy." And he was like, "I also didn't think it was a good idea that you two work together." So it's Logan. So apparently the professor was having an affair with Logan. And then apparently the other thing is that the professor of this world was married. So we go back to Wade and the professor is speaking, and they realize that Logan is lying to them. But one of my favorite moments is, parts is when the professor and Wade are talking about, him, sleeping around. He says, "I may not be your idea of a shower fantasy, but I have my admirers." And so that's when they realize Logan is lying to them. So because Logan acted like she didn't know this world's professor. So going back to the restaurant and to now, let's talk it out.
I enjoyed that scene. I won't even deny, because it was 3 black folks just together. That was a plus for me. But Monique's hair is doing some of everything. It's like, and I know black folks and hairdressers is very hard on set because the way our hair is not prioritized. I was like, "God damn, Monique, what the hell? Is that a precursor to the president hair? Because what is this?" I'll say gay rights. I enjoyed seeing Elton Diggs. I don't know if the actor is queer, but that character was definitely a homosexual. It was a homo. But I actually did not mind this scene because I was like, why would you say this to him when you're dead? But I'm also like, we don't know the culture of this world. He could be out of pocket, but he also could be like, shit, I'm a waiter, and nigga, this gonna give me a leg up. And I think that's kind of a testament to the show not doing a really great job at explaining the celebrity of Crying Man. If that woman was going to be this number one fan, you should have built him up for the work, because I don't it's that's it was kind of random to
Yeah.
me, but whatever, I digress. I did enjoy Elton. I'm mad that Rembrandt just skipped over the paperless toilet, because again, I'm like, I'm in this new world, what do you mean? And I know this may be gross, but I'm gonna say it anyways. As many things as we have to be concerned with by hopping from world to world, if you mention that there's a paperless toilet, my mind goes to, when I eventually have to relieve myself, how does that work? Because will I now have a mess all over my fucking self? Like, I, and again, I know this is the 90s. I know this is a, what, like, I don't know, the 45-minute episode. Like, I
Yeah.
understand where we are, but like some stuff, the show, you made it a point to say paperless toilet. You could have did anything, so you brought it up. So now flesh it out a little bit, because now I was like, is this almost like what is it, Roni and Michelle's high school reunion? Whenever
Yeah.
like, yeah, my dad invented post-it notes, and I was like, no, girl, no, he didn't. Like, is it like that where it's just this random throwaway thing? So that was odd. Um, I'm okay with Elton, and honestly, the scene wasn't a bad scene. I do think that, though I don't like the B plot in this episode, I think a lot of parts of it was done well. Like Rembrandt
Mhm.
going to the bathroom, talking to the guy, getting his signature, coming back around to Monique, like all of that to me worked.
Yeah.
It took in a point where, for a moment, I was like, if you take this scene out and you make people act it more seriously, you could
Mhm.
put this very scene into any daytime soap opera and it would make sense.
Yeah.
Like, just the whole way. So shout out to him for that, I guess. Monique and Elton's little history. I mean, I know it's asking for much. I like to know where y'all know each other from. What's going on here? So there's that. We get the Adrian guy with the suit. I was like, I'm tired. I'm tired. No, first of all, I'm not trusting any white man in the suit when I slide for, because every time we slide to another world, they're always evil.
Corporate shenanigans.
Like, and I don't. I know it's the 90s, but man, give me something. Give me like an
Yeah.
evil Asian woman with a, I don't know, a holiday sash. Give me a man in the wheelchair who got a gun behind his wheel. Like, give me something. Like, I'm not advocating for white men, but I'm tired of seeing this same
The
evil
same
white
thing.
man.
Yeah.
You are the same person. God
Yeah.
damn it. And then I have Quinn is a bitch. And what's her name? What's his twin name? What the fuck is her name? Lori? Lane?
Logan St. Clair.
Logan. She's disgusting. This is your twin. What are we doing?
Like,
And
she's like,
she is a freaky ass frog, and I'm sick of it.
yeah.
I was like, but okay, I'm going to say this. I was disgusted with her this whole episode,
Mm.
but when you watch the episode and things start coming out about the two of them, I liked her because, and I don't want to get too far here, but she said some things. I was like, you know what? Honestly, she's not wrong. And if you guys think the same, and if she's slightly different from you morally,
Mhm.
then I never expected her to be like, oh, Queen, you're so smart, let's go have sex. But I
Right.
did expect for her to get dangerously close to that line to get what she wanted. And that's why I was like, this is fucking gross. But as much as I don't like that, I think it adds to her character. And so talking it out, I think I like her more because of it, with the caveat that I don't want them siblings to sleep together, but I
Right.
like the desperation or the evilness in her. I don't know. I came to appreciate it later. Then shit, what else I got? Shit, Quinn is a bitch. That's your twin. Could be. Oh, also, this would be a perfect episode to have Wade's journal. Like, again,
Yes.
nothing is consistent. Like, if we just had her journal,
Mhm.
that would have been a better. I don't know. Like, all of this info dumping that Quinn had to Logan and Adrian, whatever, could have been just steal her journal and read through it there, and like, so cut down on some of this. Oh, we do the flux capacitor. Such girl, so the fuck what? New what would you? God damn, what this? What would you say? I don't know, but yeah, I do like the professor stand up for himself. Like, look, girl, just because you don't want to fuck me, don't mean there ain't a whole bunch of people who do.
Right.
And honestly, I take it as a compliment that you don't want to fuck me, because apparently you and Queen can't get y'all shit together either. Like, at this point, not to be funny, but I think the professor and Rembrandt are the most I don't know how to put
active, remember?
sexually active and who should be sexually desired, because these two motherfucking Quinn gone lose his mind for any slim, beautiful white woman, and then this fool, she's so hung up on him, she can't. And then every man she get kill herself or run off. Or it's just they are the only ones who seem to be making any type of connections consistently.
The over 40 crowd.
So that's, I'm like, he might not be your cup of tea, but to be quite honest, I think Disney has primed us for men like him, in the sense that you're going to get like a Timon and Pumbaa. Not saying you need to sleep with an animal, that's not it, but like you get the comical big guy, then you get Beauty and the Beast, you got the so like his archetype has been consistently given to us forever. So again, you may not be attracted to him, but you have to notice that there's something about him. And also, everywhere we go to, he got a son, he had a wife, he got like. So I don't know. The fat jokes, okay, whatever. But yeah, I'm glad he stood up to her. Like, girl, first of all, you're 12, so don't even look at me like that. And secondly, I get women. So yeah,
he said all across the multiverse.
No, truly.
I'm just going to say this here. Logan is one of my favorite characters from the Sliders universe. Like, she is right up there with, after we had spoken about her, the Wade from that Young and the Restless, Young and the Relentless Planet. Like, because we don't get many women antagonists in this universe, and we actually didn't get many like consistent antagonists until like the second season, with the introduction of the Chromax. So she was cool. She was cool in her Carmen Sandiego game show outfit later on. They had her dressed like the chief. So shout out to the kids. Go look up Rockapella. That was a different era. But okay, so we go back to Los Angeles, to Monique's mansion. Monique is she's in a swimsuit, talking to herself, showing off her wedding ring, and then Remy is swimming, and I think he's cold or he's wet, and she gives him a robe which is not his size, which is like big, and he even says something about it. It's like these are clues. These are clues. And also, whatever. So unless the Rembrandt of this world is just like a hefty dude, she was just planning for that. But she tells him to go to his bedroom and then to visit her. There's a lot of like, little innuendo, like, oh, we're going up to your bedroom. And she's like, well, go to your bedroom first and then visit me in my bedroom. And he goes to his bedroom, and it's like something out of Silence of the Lambs. Like, she has a shrine to him. She has like clothes of his that she's bought, posters, pictures, candles. We always say it's like an early 90s R&B music video.
Yes.
And one of the things that she mentions, like off screen, is that she's been sending him letters, and they were sent back by his attorney. And does she reveal that she sent like hundreds of letters to him?
Yes.
Something. Yeah. So so then she steps into so when he turns around, she's like, and we're going to get married, and she's dressed in her wedding gown, right? Yeah, right, like a wedding gown. And this is the point where he looks disturbed. So we go back to Prototonics. I'm just going to say the Sliding Institute. And Quinn is explaining that with his repairs, he's fixed it so that their probes will arrive within a 2-mile radius. and not be sent just all over the place apparently. And
Mm.
one of the things that Logan has been trying to do is send larger payloads through the siding tunnel. So I don't know if this is their callback to like when they drove a whole ass van through the portal, but that's what she's trying to do. And so what she does it during this experiment is she creates a sliding tunnel. It gets too big. It turns into like this, I don't know, like the portal starts kind of sucking them in, and
Mm-hmm.
Quinn has to grab onto like a banister or something like a railing. She grabs onto his legs, and then he's finally able to turn the sliding machine, sliding the machine off, and it closes the portal. And then at that point, she says, "Let's take a break." So it's tense scene. Looks like they were going to be dragged into hell and killed like the other Arturos. So we go back to we're actually still at the Sliding Institute, and Wade and the professor find Mrs. Arturo. And for some reason, she's just walking around the grounds with a beaker filled with like a blue liquid. And when she sees the professor, she gets shocked because she's like, "Oh, my husband is alive," and then he tells her, "I'm not your husband." Okay, sorry. Side note, I can't believe I forgot this. The place where they're filming the exterior shots for the Sliding Institute,
Mm-hmm.
Star Trek.
Oh.
They use the same grounds for, um, I think it's Starfleet headquarters.
Okay.
That is actually based in San Francisco in the Star Trek universe, but in this case it's Los Angeles. I don't know the name of I don't know what the location is,
Mm-hmm.
but it is a place where they actually the Japanese Garden and Donald C. Tillman Water Reclamation Plant in
Okay.
California. So another Star Trek connection. So she thinks that apparently the company has Prototonics. That's the worst name. They feel that if her husband's death is revealed, it'll create bad press for the company, and she doesn't believe, and she also doesn't believe that her husband would have slid without the proper precautions. So Wade and the professor feel that foul play is afoot. We go back to the Sliding Institute at night. The professor and Wade head back to the lab. He tells security, like, "I left my keys or key card. Can you let me in?" So security takes the professor to his office, and Wade stays at the desk. And when the security guard leaves, she actually breaks out her tech skills because the writing allows for it this time, and she uses that to do some investigating. So the next thing, because it's okay, so they're hopping around a lot. The next scene that we have is Logan and Quinn hanging out. They're talking and they're saying the same things at times, so just to kind of show how in sync they are. But Logan is manipulating him. He basically tells him, "Skip the slide and take a chance on this relationship." She's like, she says, "Stay and see if what we're feeling is real." And he's like, "No, I don't know about if I should do that." And then at a certain point, because she says that she says, you know, "Just chance it, missing the in the slide window, and we will eventually find a way to get you home, you and your friends home." And at a certain point, the vibe that I get is that he's like, "Fuck it, I'm gonna stay here. Let's stay here or whatever." So he kisses her, or they kiss each other, and then he backs up, and they both say, "Oh, we're moving too fast." And that's the end of that scene. But I think the other thing that comes out of the scene is that they show them looking at the Golden Gate Bridge with the double electric trains. So it's something that they show in the credits, the opening credits. So I know that's a lot. So any thoughts going back to Monique in the swimsuit to now?
Um, I don't. A little known fact: Monique is actually the Yellow Ranger because that is all she wears in this episode is yellow fucking clothes, and it's not bad. Like, go you. She has body. She's a beautiful girl, but
Yeah.
goddamn, these her own clothes. Like, um, I was a little confused at first because I thought this was Rembrandt's home, because and I think I knew it was hers, but when she was like, "Yeah, go up to your room," it kept throwing me because like, am I missing something? Because if I show up at your house, if I show up at your house, Robert, and you say go up to your room, I'm like, no, hold up, because I live in
Right.
Texas. That does not make sense. If you said the guest room, okay, sure, but she kept saying your room, so I was like, no, this is something's off. And
Yeah.
we know like she's 90s crazy, quote unquote, where this is my man. Like I get that. But I
Like
was
a
like,
thin
yeah, this
line
is
between love
weird.
and hate, crazy.
Very much. And I hate that because Rembrandt does not have any survival skills, no
No,
survival instincts for a
none.
black man. A lot of this makes no sense. Because, and I'm telling you why I'm really pissed off. When she showed up in that dress, the way he reacted pissed me off for the same reason I was mad at Wade. Remember when she was kidnapped by that dude and
Yeah.
he recreated her bedroom? She's like, oh no, I want to get out of here. Girl, shut the fuck up. Act like you like this so that he don't like what's not click. I would, and I do get the shock. I understand that. But for Rembrandt, especially somebody who, though washed up, had a big following at one point in time, so you're not unfamiliar with fans and stands. Like, this is weird to me that
Yeah.
for somebody so hell bent on being popular, being this big musician who people love, you don't like. I podcast, so I know there's a possibility I will get a negative review. That's something I know of. I don't go into every day thinking that, but I know somebody's not going to like at least some part of an episode. So I won't be like, oh my God, I can't believe they hated the audio here. It's a possibility. That this pissed me off so bad. Because even with the shrine room, it's like, why does this look weird to you? She said she's your number one fan. Like I know there's a degree of like separating the artists from what they do, but it's like, I'm sure if Beyonce went into any number of rooms by these Beehive members, she would not be shocked that her face is every damn where. People have full social media profiles dedicated to this lady. So for him to be like, oh, this is creepy. This is what you wanted. What do we? So I don't that he pissed me off a lot there. And I honestly, I'm gonna say I don't think Monique was wrong, and in the same way, I don't think Brandy was wrong at thin line between love and hate. I feel like with the way this is a fault of a man not being cognizant of his actions. I don't get into Martin and his actions, but he was just shitty. But Rembrandt specifically, you have gone from world to world to world, and you aren't thinking enough that you're ruining the life of the Rembrandt that's here. So when you slide, but I digress. That was what it was. Quinn's a bitch still. Monique the Yellow Ranger. Helga from Hey Arnold is what I thought when I saw that room. I was like, oh, all right. She loved this man. There's something that happened earlier with clothing that made me mad because we saw all these clothes that she stole or bought of his in this room. I was like, but whatever. No one has asked why. This is for the prototonic shit.
Yeah.
And if they did, maybe I missed it. So please correct me if I'm wrong. But she keep talking about we want to send shit through. Why? Why are you trying to shit that? I don't like if you're just like, oh, we want to perfect sliding. That's one thing. But it's like, so am I?
I think the explanation is going to come later.
Right? No. Okay, no. I know that, but I'm talking about up until this point. For me to have given you so much of my my knowledge and what I know about sliding and this and that, when in my mind, fuck the fact that we've gone through 2 years of sliding. Just the very fact that from the first episode, I met a version of myself that could slide should inform me before Cro-Mags and all of that there will be other worlds where people know about sliding. So why am I? These people are not smart. And that's what's giving me more frustrated than anything. I still enjoyed the episode, but the fact that we are 2 years in 3 seasons and you still are doing rookie shit. How many times has each and every one of them been locked up, kidnapped, murdered, attempted murdered, lied on, tricked? Y'all don't have enough survival instinct for me. This portal looked evil as hell. This portal looked like whatever religion you belong to, whatever the hell is in your religion,
Mm-hmm.
that's where this portal takes you. What are you talking about? You want to watch stuff coming out burnt up because Satan is juggling the shit you throw in there. What are we doing? And she's just like, oh, I did do the wrong coordinates. I don't condone violence, but I'd have shook the shit out of that woman. What are you talking about? You have a whole facility dedicated to sliding. What he's stupid. Lastly, Miss Arturo. I was mad we didn't get the same lady from season
Mm-hmm.
one.
Mm-hmm.
Like, why are we? And then also, and this is no hate to the lady, but I feel like they were trying to, and she's not an ugly woman. I want to be very clear, but I feel like they
Yeah.
were trying to cast to like his body type or what they think. Like, and that's really neither here nor there. But I was like, who is this woman? Like, who is this mom lady? Like, what's going on here? I'm glad she got her time to shine. I think she actually, I liked her. I think she had
Yeah.
some of the kind of better for as less for as what am I saying? For the small amount of time she spent on screen, when the credits rolled, she was somebody who I remembered, who
Mm-hmm.
came to mind. So shout out to her. But why are we just? First of all, why are we just walking around with a beaker? Secondly, I know you love your husband, but if you're a scientist, what is in there that you just dropped? Is that like an evil gas? Is
You
it
probably heard
flubber?
of like
Like how you?
acid on the ground.
I
That
was
was
like,
yeah.
also, why are you just walking around outside with this? There's no gloves on, no nothing. I was like, this lady is fucking incompetent. So screw her. Yeah, and I was just upset that she wasn't the wife from the first season. The professor, something about security. I don't know. Hell, do we see security? Shit, I can't.
You're talking about as far as the sorry.
Professor and Wade with security. I don't know. Shit, they're stupid. I don't know. That's it.
I'm
I'm
trying to
sick
get
of
the
this.
evidence.
Mm.
I think the only thing I just to add to that was her walking around with the beaker. I guess it was this thing of like, she's a scientist and let's just like have the most obvious scientific looking thing. But like I said, that's a minor gripe. Yeah, and Quinn was whatever. So we go back to the professor in his office, and he is, part of it is I think he's checking out his office, but he's also keeping the security officer away so that Wade can do what she's doing on the computer. So he notices that he's won the Congressional Medal of Scientific Excellence, which is just kind of shows how accomplished this world's professor is. Wade calls his office, and they're talking on the phone, but the professor is not letting on that it's Wade. And what Wade explains is that someone hacked into the company system and did a slash and burn. And what she explains is that she is able to locate the original video, security footage of what happened the night that this world's professor disappeared. And what we see is that this world's Maximilian was arguing with Logan, and he says something like, I won't let you get away with it or whatever. And then Logan just pushes him into this portal that's behind. And that's that. So obviously she was lying about knowing Maximilian. I mean, like, this is forever. How did the other lady, the way of Young in a Relentless World, she just knocked Quinn upside the head.
In that pool.
So somebody's forever pushing somebody or knocking somebody up the head so that they they fall or they slide to their ultimate demise. So Wade says she's going to download the video onto a floppy. Kids, floppy disk, look it up. And then she is caught by evil corporate guy who we don't care about, Adrian. So the next thing we have is at the Dominion Hotel during the daytime, and the professor meets Quinn outside the hotel, and the professor tells Quinn that they've discovered evidence of the murder of his double, but he also says that I've been looking for Wade. I can't. She never showed up, and Quinn is like, I don't believe it. It's just like, dude, stop thinking with your dick. Just like your friends that you've been traveling with for 15 years now. Fuck it. No, I'm kidding. No,
Right. Pretty much, yeah.
let's say close to 2 years, right? That
Mm-hmm.
they saw a video, or Wade saw a video of the double being killed, and Quinn is like, dude, Logan couldn't do that. And he says he can't believe she would let that happen. And then Wade shows up on a bike and says that she convinced Logan's boss that she didn't know anything and he let her go. So Wade says that they should still go to the hotel to get the they should still go back to the protonics
Mm-hmm.
place to get the home coordinates, and the professor disagrees, and then Wade says, you better shut the fuck up, old man.
Yes.
It's just like,
Yes.
whoa. So she blows up the professor, and the professor and Quinn look at her, and then Quinn's like, well, I'm going back there anyway to get the timer. So Wade, calm down. Let's get a drink. And then Wade is like mean mugging, like she's like, motherfucker. Anyway, so the professor and Wade go, everybody goes in, in separate directions. So we go back to if I say Tyler Perry, people want to take it the wrong way. So let me say we go back to this horrible soap opera or whatever.
Yeah.
Fuck it. Yeah, it's drama DBS. I call it drama bullshit. So we go back to Monique's house. Remy is not opening the door because he slept in his shrine room all night because he's worried about his life now. And she says, I've been patient with you. And so he opens the door and he says, well, I need to leave because I have some business up in San Francisco. I think he says up north because they're, everything, San Francisco's north, whatever. But he's like, and she's like, okay, but can you sing for me first? And he's like, well, I can do that. And he starts singing a song. I got tears in my fro, right? And which she doesn't like. And she gets a little unhinged when she says she doesn't like it, but she tells him to sing another. I just put another stupid song that he doesn't know because, this isn't his world. And when he sings it, she's just like, oh, this is great. He's like, it is? Instead of just going along with it. So as he's still singing this song, apparently this big ass dude shows up, and wonk wonk, Monique is married to a big football player looking dude or whatever. So this big black dude runs after Remy. Remy picks up his clothes and runs out, and then Monique's like, don't kill him, don't kill him. It's it's Rembrandt, and it's just this bad scene. And then Remy is running away, and still in the robe or his pajamas. And then I was wondering, why are they standing on the roof and yelling down at him? And she's holding him back, and it's so bad. And once again, people listening, you can't see what I'm doing, but she's holding him back, and he's like, I'm gonna get you. And it's like, I just put down, I hate this. I hate this fucking scene. I hate that Rembrandt has to be the comedic relief. We are beyond that. We are beyond that. And I'm not saying that the show was not got ultra serious in later seasons, but with him, I hated his storyline for this. So we go back to the Slide-In Institute. I'll just wrap this one up. Wade and the professor are talking with Mrs. Arturo, and she actually says it was Logan, wasn't it? They tell her that he died. He didn't slide himself, and somebody killed him, and then she was like, it's Logan. And I was like, oh shit. So she knew about everything, probably about because she does mention he wasn't a perfect man, something like that. So she knows about the infidelity, but it sounds as if I don't know, maybe they were working through it, or she still knew about the bullshit. But and the other thing they ask him is I think they ask her why was he killed, or why could he, could there have been a reason? And she explains that Maximilian had told his wife that about the company's plans for sliding, and apparently it's on a video disc, and he he didn't want his invention to be used to hurt people. And one of the things that comes out of this is the professor saying, "Oh, I invented sliding." so, so Wade, Wade gives so as after they finish talking to her, he does remark. He's like, the professor of this world invented sliding, and then Wade says something to the effect like giving a clue that she thinks that he invented sliding on their world. So basically, he knows now that this is not their Wade. So the thing that I love is that after she says this, he hems her up and says, "Wade," essentially like, "Where's my Wade?" or whatever.
Yeah.
So going back to when we were first in the office looking for, he was, and Wade was hacking to now. Any thoughts about all this?
That was dumb, but I knew something was going to happen, so I'm not like mad about it. They had to capture her.
Mm-hmm.
I just wish we would feature her tech skills a little bit more, because I think this show also lends itself to getting new skills. Like if you go in all these different worlds and you learn how to, I don't know, hack an alien spaceship.
Yeah,
Why don't you know how to do some more shit? But whatever, that's neither here nor there. I don't know, whatever. There's good for you, girl. Quinn again is a bitch because, like I said, if I say Wade hasn't shown up, we don't have cell phones to call each other. We have no way of getting in touch with each other.
Mm-hmm.
They don't be stressed enough for me when somebody is separated from the group. He was like, "Yeah, she'll be back." Like, no, it'd be one thing if she was like, "I'm going to get something to eat." Even that would be shitty. But I'm finding evidence against this woman who lied to us. Now I'm not showing up. That's crazy. We should have been whatever.
And especially murder.
Yeah, if this woman can push me into a fucking gateway to hell, then why the hell wouldn't she chop up a body or something? Like, what are we doing? Queen is a dumbass. This ugly fucking sweater. Okay, so Wade being mad was great to me. Her lashing out, I loved it. I think she was subtle enough that, like, all right, and it really pissed me off initially because I'm like, what the fuck wrong with you? But then I was like, I think they did a good job at bearing the lead with this.
Yeah.
Because I was like, okay, is that Logan? Can she? That's where I was gonna be mad if that was Logan in some like camouflage. Looked like, I was going to be pissed.
Like a Scooby-Doo mask, that would be great.
Yes. Like so this is a much better. I was like, okay, that better not fucking be Logan. So there's that. Let's go to the have and the have-nots. What? No. First of all, let me take a step back. I left the timer at Pelotronics, whatever.
Yeah. They forever leaving the timer places. Oh no, not them. Him.
So because this woman smiled at you, you left the time. I'm like, no, bitch, I'm not leaving this shit. That timer will be connected to me in the most ungodly ways. You're not getting this timer out of my hand.
And before I forget, the more I think about it, you remember in the last episode, I was trying to figure out who had left the timer in the Hummer before the professor got blinded. I'm putting that on Quinn.
Yeah, for sure. He's the culprit. Fuck him. He don't care enough about. I secretly think Quinn is the ultimate villain, and he's just having fun hopping through worlds. He don't give a fuck about going back home. He ain't mourned the loss of his daddy. He ain't mourned shit. He got a kid out there he don't know shit about. He mourned that girl. Remember that girl, his ex-girlfriend, who we didn't hear about until that episode?
Yeah.
He had more emotion for her than anybody else. So Quinn is the ultimate double cross. I'm gonna say that. So going back to this NBC daytime soap opera, Monique says, "Come out here, I'm going to burn your clothes. You are sleeping in a room full of your clothes. Why would I care if she's going to burn these clothes?"
Right.
I thought he climbed out the window or something. The next scene was going to be him running across the lawn. He's like, "Oh, I think I got something to do." What the fuck is wrong with you? You had all night, and that's the best you can come up with.
And you could have left at night.
I mean, let's start there. Start there. Like, if we sleeping in separate rooms and you can peek out and she ain't sleeping at your door, you could have left. Like, what are we doing? So that's dumb. Also, and it's close. That was stupid. The singing.
Yeah.
So I don't like all black music just because black people are performing it. But that's not to say I don't appreciate when someone sounds good. Like what this, she ain't black, but like I'm not a Taylor Swift fan, but I do recognize that though people may not like her, there's some of her songs that I like. And there may be some where I don't like, but it's not because she sounds horrible. It's just because I don't like that. So with this, with Rembrandt singing, what pissing me off more than anything, I understand that his style of music may not be my taste because it's filtered through a particular lens,
Right.
but he never sounds good. And even like if his songs are going, if he's this caricature, why can't you take his songs seriously?
Yeah.
Like, okay, he's the goofy, washed up old R&B star, sure, but even his son, I got tears in my fro. What the fuck is that?
Well, he imagine. I don't remember groups from the 70s having songs which were a parody of the time, right? You know,
Yeah.
like, and that's the thing. Like, Rembrandt was started as a comic relief, and
Yeah.
he has always been a joke to whoever created this show. And it was just like you could have given him like you said, actual music with even being a washed up R&B songer, which songer singer, which makes sense. Like, give him a variation of Papa was a Rolling Stone,
something.
Mama was a Stout Mountain, or some shit like that. Like, just that makes too much sense. Like,
This is why he's not written by a black person, because I'm not saying that he can't sing in a genre that I don't usually listen to, and now I don't understand the celebrity. I'm not saying that at all, but I am saying for as many episodes as we had surrounding him and his music, there's never any difference. Like, where's the world where he's a rapper? Where's the world where he's a pop star? Where's the world where he's a woman and she is a Beyonce or she's a Sarah McLachlan? Like, you keep giving me him in different fonts, and it's the same him. And I know that's sort of the appeal of the show, but every single version of him has something to do with music, and it's the same type of music every time. You've shown us that you had, what was that, like Russian rappers from what's that world, like where Wade was dead?
Oh man, it was the very first one that they went to. The
where Queen got that girl killed. I feel like this is dumb. So even the songs that he was like faking to sing, I was like, oh, she's gonna kill you because these are not right. But even that, like, what pissed me off about that is, if I'm obsessed with you, if I'm Monique and I'm obsessed with you and I love you and I want to be with you, if I say sing a song and you're singing them wrong, I'm like, what the fuck is going on? You think I'm a joke? Like, why are you playing with me? But for them, it was just like, oh, look at this nigga dancing and singing. It was like, what? Then now we get what is it? The next member of Full Force popping up tomorrow. Monique, you got my wife. Girl, what? First of all, you're gay as well, sir. Let's be very clear. Now, the actor may not be, but that is a punk. I was like, what is the point? What? Okay, I'm glad that man got a check. That black man got a check. But my question is, as far as the story is concerned, what was the point of having Monique? Didn't have to be married.
She did.
That made no sense for him to pop. Like, I get the big clothes and that's the payoff, but we didn't need him to be there for this to go the way it did. Also, how the fuck did Rembrandt get home? Did she fly you there? Like, what? This is dumb. And
it was.
I'm happy that man got a check, but we did not fucking need him. And also, not to be funny, but that was an attractive man. He was a big, buff, muscular dude. And when you have, oh no, how do I say this? Because I don't want to sound terrible, but for the types of black men that have appeared on this show, he's the first of his kind. Like, everyone else has been maybe a little older. I ain't gonna say like extremely fit. That's not where I'm focusing, but like, he has a very particular look that, to me, as a slider, like, if you're, what is this, the 90s? I don't know how to say what I'm trying to say. I love Rembrandt to death, but that man, to me, aesthetically, would be more so what I think a company would want. Look at this young mixed bag of, switch out Arturo and him for this guy and Logan and Quinn and Wade, and you got this beautiful young Saved by the Bell looking cast. So for him to show up here, and this is the first time we see someone that looks like him with that body type, I'm like, is this going to be the last? Am I only good enough to be your fake rapper from Russia, or this meathead who has misplaced anger because my wife cheated on me? It was
weird.
it was just weird as fuck. Let me see. The professor invented slide. Yeah, so that the Wade thing, like, I do like that. I like how they snuck her in there. But it kind of also left more holes. Like, okay, should we now, once we get to a world, immediately start trying to find ourselves? Like, I don't know, it's weird. But I do like that the professor was like, okay, this motherfucker crazy. But why don't we get a world where Rembrandt is the Arturo, where Rembrandt is the smart scientist, and I don't know, Wade is just some girl on a rollerblades or something, like where she's the musician. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Where's the world where they're all
They weren't thinking that far. Not far ahead. They weren't thinking that deep into it, which is unfortunate because it gives you a chance to play against type. You know, it is what it is. So we go back to the Sliding Institute, and we see Quinn sneaking around, and then the professor just opens up a closet door and say, "Hey, get in here." It's so
crazy.
Yeah, and had the professor just been peeking his head out every time he heard somebody walking by? Yeah, so he has the double Wade tied up and has scotch tape, tape over her mouth, and he explains that the real Wade is being used as possibly as a trump card to keep Quinn there. And the professor tells Quinn about the video card that has, kind of evidence of what the company is trying to do. But he wants to use that as a bargaining chip, so they have to find it. So we go back to we go back to Los Angeles, to the Amtrak station. Remy is trying to get a train to San Francisco. He realizes he left his wallet at the house, I guess, or his money at Monique's house, which possibly he didn't have any money for this world, but hey, they don't look at cash on this world. So he doesn't, he decides to follow a person onto the top of the train. And a guy sticks his head out of the carriage of the train and says, "Hey, you get killed riding it like that." And he was like, "I'll get killed if I stay here." And he notices that Debo is walking up the aisle looking for him. And so he gets on top of the train, and the guy on top of the train, I guess it's like their version of a bullet train. Yeah. And the guy looks, the passenger that's on top of the train, he has like he has goggles on, he has two these straps kind of holding him down, and he essentially Remy's just not as prepared as this guy is. And once the train starts to pick up speed, because when the guy tells him like, "Yeah, we'll hit like 200 miles per hour," Remy's like 200 and whatever. So he takes off his belt, straps it to, I think it's a railing or something on top of the train. And then when they start getting faster, once again, this is another shot from the opening credits. He just starts yelling because he's about to get tossed off the train. And to this guy's credit, the other passenger, he reaches out and holds Remy. So the suggestion being is that Remy didn't die trying to get back to San Francisco. Yeah. So we go back to the Sliding Institute. Quinn and the professor are looking in his office, and then, they're looking for this disc, and Quinn yells at him. He's like, "Here's your double. Where would you hide it?" And it's not even like a question. It's like he's pissed off. Yeah. And I'm like, this ain't my fucking world. So they find the professor then realizes that he does start thinking like himself, that the disc is hidden in the case with the award that he had mentioned earlier. And so they watch the video on the computer in his office, and basically it's the video of Logan and Adrian, the evil executive, explaining that they're making plans to use sliding to strip other worlds of their resources. And I just noted, like, the video is extra villainy. Like, it doesn't it doesn't, like, were they pitching this to people? Because this seems like the most evil shit. To not even say, we are going to use this to revitalize the resources of our, like, no, she says it like a super villain. And I think that's part of the reason why I like Logan, but it's just like, if this is what you were trying to, like, to the stockholders or to the investors, like, this ain't it. Like, it's like extra evil. So anyway, so they're like, they got the evidence. So Logan, I don't know where it happens, but Logan confronts the professor and Quinn, I say, with Guy Fieri.
Yes.
Guy Fieri looking henchman and another henchman. They're both holding guns, and she's like, and guess what? I'm your double, and we kissed. And she says, I know what you're thinking, and you're trying to hand over the video for Wade. He's like, but because I'm thinking like you, that's not going to happen. And Quinn is like, how can I be a woman? And the professor is like, well, exactly. Like, you are a scientist.
That shit pissed me. Oh.
It's like, and that seems to be like, he's like, I'm a dude on every world. And the professor is, whatever. He tells him, Y chromosome, whatever. So she says I was born Logan Mallory, but when my mother married my stepdad, I took my stepdad's last name. So I was like, okay, whatever. So she's like, I got a dark side, and it's just closer to the surface. And so the professor is like, he says, Will, we have no choice. And he looks at Quinn, and I just wrote down, he goes A1 on the guards. And they just start looking at it. It's just like A1, A1, A1. We rewatch Superman, so that will always be I don't care. I love that part. And so they start whooping ass. And I don't know if you noticed, the portal lights come on before the portal is actually opened. And so I don't know if that's whatever, if it's an editing glitch or whatever, but they knock the Logan's timer out of her hand. It opens up the portal, and then for some reason, I think the professor is pushed, or he falls into the portal. Mm-hmm. And then for some reason, Logan is yelling. It's just a weird, chaotic scene.
Yeah, very.
So the suggestion is that, well, the professor is burned up to a crisp because they haven't the slide on in this world. So we go back to the inside of the because all this shit is run together at this point. I'm sorry, yes. Sliding Institute. Quinn gives Logan this timer. She threatens Wade. Quinn notices on the computer screen or whatever that the sliding tunnel that the professor went through is still active, and it looks like he's traveling right back to the Sliding Institute. So, I'm sorry. My kind of dark, messed up way of thinking was like, is that his burn up corpse that's just like making the rounds to come back to the place? Yeah. And so they cut outside, and this guy is wearing these like blue blocker glasses or whatever, so you can't see his eyes or whatever. And so the guard he probably is one of the few people who don't know about sliding who has had an actual appropriate reaction to sliding. Yeah. Is what the hell? So I don't think this guy knows about what's happening at the lab. This dude was just working his $15 hour job. And then he's like, what the fuck is going on? So he sees this like heavy set white dude roll out, and then he goes to help him out, right?
Yes.
And he says, he's like, are you okay? And the professor even apologizes, and then he knocks him out. But the funny thing is, the guy is still looking at the portal when the professor like cold clocks his ass and then takes his gun. So Quinn, this is the only part that I'll give Quinn. Quinn uploaded a virus because apparently they left him there by himself, and he says, I'll fix it when I see Wade. And then the executive is saying, I don't make deals. And Quinn says, well, I don't fix computers, motherfucker. And he says yes. And so Logan tells the guard to go get Wade. And Wade is brought to the room, and the professor, and then I think like Logan or the executive Adrian says, now you got to fix it. And then the professor says, fuck that. And he comes in with his gun, and he says that the computer found the right coordinates, and that's what it is. So the computer did find the right coordinates that I think Logan needed, and because of the virus, they're gone. So basically, they fucked them over and then run away, and they get into these. They have 60 minutes until the slide, and the trio get into like these electric small cars, and race away to meet Rembrandt at the hotel. So Remy winds up at the hotel. His outfit is looking all like torn up and disheveled, and the hotel worker that had been, or concierge or whatever, who had been talking to the professor earlier, immediately sees a black man and just fucking tatters and says, "I don't have any money. We don't do handouts, and you can't use the bathroom." And then he's like, "Oh, you're the client man," and we get into this whole shit. And anyway, so at the last minute, the group drives up and they rush in, and Remy is like, "Oh shit, well y'all been in some stuff." And I think the professor looks at him and is like, "What's up with you?" And he's like, "Long story." But before they actually slide in the hotel lobby. The professor gives a video disc to the hotel worker and says, "Please give this to my wife who I was cheating on at this hotel." Because right, so, but that's the only person he can give it to. And the funny thing is as they were sliding, Logan and the other guards are banging on the door, and then I think she says, "Hit the override button," or whatever, like something like that. And then they slide away to Caribbean, California, where the bartender, I forget the brother's name, my bad.
Elston.
Elston has this horrible wig on with like, these these dreads, and he has a horrible accent. And he's like, "Hey, like he's like, you're in Los Angeles, not San Angeles." And so apparently a part of the sliding device had been changed by Logan. And so now the explanation is the explanation now is that they can slide anywhere between 400 miles between Los Angeles and San Francisco, which I think is their explanation for now why, the setting looks different. So is what it is. But Logan slides there from tracking their wormhole. She demands the return coordinates. So my thing is, did she pull a Negan and just chase them?
Had to.
She demands the return coordinates because she obviously doesn't have, like, she just jumped into that portal without thinking, and or opened her own whatever one up. Quinn, and she's threatening to shoot Wade, so he gives the coordinates to her, and as she's being pulled back into her portal, she shoots her gun. The bullet flies towards Wade, and then the bullet and Logan are pulled into the portal. And so the professor asks Quentin, like, "Did you give her the right coordinates?" He says, "No." So the professor is like, so she's in the same position that we're in, but then Remy's like, "But can't she track us?" And that's how the episode ends. So they got a super villain. So that was the episode. Any last thoughts on that last chunk of everything?
This is dumb. It's not. It's just executed so poorly. My question, first of all, if nothing else, I cannot get mad at these motherfuckers whooping ass because they will fight. I gotta give them. I don't give a fuck what. I can critique every episode, but these motherfuckers will fight, and I love that. They don't have a problem fighting. That is definitely some X-Men shit. So I'm with them there. So sad for the security guard who knew nothing about this. Poor man. My thing is, how do we know that was the right Wade? And I know it is because, like, whatever, this is what the show is giving us. But I was like, I need to see my Wade and the wrong Wade in the same room because you may give me the wrong person. I don't know what this woman's loyalty is. She might be like, "Fuck it, I'm down for whatever." Fuck the other sliders because I'm down for my sliders. So there's that. Rembrandt on top of that train. I was mad at the man who's like, "Hey man, you can't go up there." Well, let him through the window with you. What? Why didn't you just let him in? Like, I was just like, why did Rembrandt say, "Well, fucking move over"? Also, how did fucking big dude even like, why are we? I've chased you away from my wife. You're gone, but I'm gonna now. What am I finding you for? Am I gonna kill
Yeah.
you? I was like, what do you? Who cares? He's gone now. I mean, again, brother get a check, so I'm happy for him. But this was not needed because
Yeah.
also the white man who was connecting himself to the train. Honestly, I would have liked to have known a little bit more about what he was doing. Because what is this? What do you got going on? So there's that. Shout out to that man. Queen is sexist. Yeah. We see how he really feels about women, which is upsetting but not surprising. He sucks. Why they make God damn it, these notes is fucking terrible. I don't know. When Quinn got mad in the office, and this is so stupid because we see Logan. I was like, is this the right version of Quinn? Because why is he angry like the other Wade was? Because that made no sense. Because I'm also with the professor. Motherfucker, we're here because of your dumb ass. Also, why didn't the professor just shoot Logan when he was in the institute? I would have shot everybody who worked there. I don't care. And also, she has people with guns. So how did they get out? This was such a weird, like, I accepted it because it's the show, it's what they're giving us.
Yeah.
But I would have shot everybody on the way out of that motherfucker. Do not give me a gun. Don't know. Let me see. How did you know this was Wade? And then I'm gonna call it the racist hotel guy.
Yeah.
We don't serve your kind in here, you raggedy. Oh, I'm your favorite. I love Beyonce. She can come at me with a bald head, a baseball cap, and ripped up t-shirt. I'm gonna know who this woman is.
Yeah.
So all black people look alike? Because what do you mean? I get the first instinct like, oh, this is a homeless person. But if I'm your biggest fan,
you should know.
Nah, something about this ain't right. Because Rembrandt's the only dark-skinned black person on this whole world. There were no others. Like Monique and her husband are much lighter. What's the name? Gay rights. Elston. He was like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like you won't mistake any one of these characters for the other characters. So you mean to tell me you're his biggest fan? No, that doesn't make any sense. I don't know. This was interesting. I don't understand why the person didn't shoot nobody. And then I also was like, why are you so hell-bent on shooting Wade? You could have shot anyone. Not to be funny, the professor is a bigger target. You could have just shot anyone. Like, why are we so focused on Wade? Which I think it goes back to that whole no black people in the writers' room, no people of color. Because now I don't think this is reaching, but we know we're a tight-knit group. She don't know nothing about Rembrandt, so I'm okay with her not shooting him because it's like, who is this nigga? Who is that? But it to me feeds into this thing where Quinn is this handsome, strong, talented, scientifically motivated white man who can do no wrong. And what's the counterpoint to that? This helpless white woman who needs saving all the time. Because why are you trying to shoot her? What to me, I get that you know that they are a group, but she should hold as much weight as Arturo. Now, if you're saying you can snatch her up and quicker and hold on to her, then sure, but that's not what you're saying. You're like, I'm gonna shoot her. Okay, like yes, I don't want my friend shot, but why are you targeting her when honestly, shoot Quinn, wound him and drag him back with you, and then shoot at them if they try to stop it. The whole thing was like, never once in this episode did I get, oh, I'm in love with Wade, so that's my heart, and if something happened to her, I'm gonna lose my mind. So it's just weird that she kept saying, "I want to be kidnapped Wade. I'm gonna shoot Wade. Get the Wade. I know you love her." Like it was just such a weird thing where it's like, what is the significance? She really, honestly, doesn't matter. You got your use out of her by using her double. Yeah. What does it matter if you like? And also, if you shoot and kill her, do you think he's gonna go with you? And then the professor say something. He was like, "She ain't gonna do this shit." Logan was fucking all over the place, but I love that she popped out like, you bitches was looking for me, and you thought, But what's going to piss me off about this show is that now we have two people. Well, there's two ways to read that last scene. Logan is coming for your ass, or that bullet came back and shot her in the head. Like one of the two. I want to go where she's coming back because I don't want her dead. But that being said, now we have two big bads on the run with access to,
Yeah.
and y'all are not doing nothing. Now, it is only the second episode of season 3, so
Mhm.
I don't know. But like, act on that. I know, like, will we get the Cro-Mags again? If we don't get them again, I'm gonna call and email everybody who worked on this show, and I'm gonna cuss them the fuck out. Because what's the point? This is a
After you
sci-fi
invite them
show.
on the show.
Man, right, and cuss them out then. Let me tell you something, motherfucker. Why didn't you? For all the critiques I have about this episode, Logan to me is one of the better parts of it. And if
Mhm.
she is out there, this is why I say Quinn is evil. She's clearly a bad person with this weird ass pitch to take over the world. But we've seen evil versions of Quinn before. So to be shocked, it's like, oh, because it's a woman? Like, what is your. Oh, she tricked me? Oh, but did she? Because you like pretty women no matter what, even if it's yourself. So what is this show doing? What is it doing? This is so dumb. I think the existence of Logan and the very first Queen, which I feel like from the pilot, I think he's actually the only good Queen, and every other one we get is evil. Because he had a wife and kid. He was like, hey, I'm just trying to find utopia. This motherfucker is ruining lives on every world.
Yeah.
And Logan was right. I'm just the evil closer to the surface, but it's also like, oh, is it because she's a woman? Because that's weird. Um, but yeah, I don't know, man. This show is so fucking silly. It's so silly.
um, yeah, they're I like the idea of the bullet going back and wounding her, and she's just like she's even more pissed off. Yeah, it was a lot going on. And I think like my final thoughts, I can kind of talk about that a little bit. But
Yeah.
as far as like your least favorite character from the episode,
My favorite. I don't know, man. It's a little difficult because I talk shit about Monique, but I think
Mhm.
between her and Logan, I'll say this: the professor, I was more impressed with him than anyone else. He stood up for himself. He was running. He got a
Mhm.
wife. He get women. I mean, that's a aspirational thing for him, I guess. But I I want to go with Monique, but I kind of want to go with Logan. I'm a little as far as favorite, not least
Yeah,
favorite.
yeah.
Um, I Logan was so camp. She was so crazy. Um, I'm when they both were. I'm going to go with favorite. I'll go with Monique. I'll go with Monique because again, I personally feel like Monique is winning. Clearly, she got
Mhm.
some shit going on in her head, but
Yeah,
she's wealthy. Her daddy created paperless toilets, which that sounds like a scam.
yeah.
She has money and means, so she can do what she wants. She's obsessed with Rembrandt, and honestly, they say try, and try again. After 100 letters, she got access to them. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like she kind of winning if we gonna look at it, and she still got her husband who's willing to fight for her when she did wrong. So I don't know. She kind of crazy, but I gotta go with Monique as my favorite. I want to do
Okay,
Logan, but Monique, you my girl.
okay,
Yeah, that's my girl. Um, Least favorite, Quinn. Yep,
okay.
yep, Quinn.
um,
Punk
I
ass.
think my favorite would be Logan.
Yeah,
She is, yeah. Like there's camp,
yeah.
there's villainy. Like when she gave that, she was basically monologuing. Like I'm not even gonna say Magneto. Like who's an even cheesier villain? Mole Man. She was
Oh
like
no.
monologuing like Mole Man from Fantastic Four.
Hmm.
And it was like, okay, this how y'all gonna get investments in this company, huh? But
Hey.
yeah, so that Logan was fun. As far as least favorite, Adrian,
Mm,
the corporate executive is,
yeah.
he goes, this is going way back to the first season, but that doctor from that virus world who just
Yeah.
seemed evil for the sake of being evil. So, but
Mhm.
not in a fun way. And so as far as like favorite scene and least favorite scene.
My favorite scene, I it's kind of hard because even though I talked a lot of shit about this episode, I did think it was pretty fun,
Hmm.
but I think I still want to go to that what do you call it? Was it where when he was on dinner with Monique? What is that place called? San? Oh,
So
was that L.A.?
he was in the LA part of San Angeles. So
Okay,
yeah,
so the
so
the
just Los
L.A.
Angeles.
dinner or
Okay.
lunch thing, because again I like, first of all, the three black folks was the focus
Yeah.
of that scene, and I truly feel like, again, if you lift that scene up and just plan it into some daytime soap, just to
Hmm.
make it a little bit more serious, that would work. Like it was done well. It was a lot of storytelling. I got a lot from that. And the cliffhanger before commercial was when she was like, "Oh no, no, we're engaged." It was like,
Yeah.
like, I mean, I knew she was crazy, but I was like, "Oh, okay." So that's my favorite scene of this episode, even though there were so many other ones. Least favorite, um, honestly, Quinn and Logan, um, on that date, because it was just so gross in a way that, like, how do I put, like, you seen Old Boy
Yeah. Yeah.
like that? Like, it
Yeah.
was like, I don't want to spoil nothing if you haven't seen it, y'all, but like,
Yeah.
to get to that end reveal, it was like, oh god. And I
Yeah.
saw it. I was into media, but like, I think I saw it, and I knew it was based off of it was a remake or something. So I was just watching it and enjoying it. And I seen the one with Elizabeth Olsen. That's the version I've seen. And I was like, oh, this is. So when you get the reveal, it's like, what the
Yeah.
fuck? So
You
that's
talking
how
about
I felt.
the Spike Lee one?
I believe so.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
is his, right?
Okay.
Yeah, I was like, what the
Yeah.
hell? So the
Yeah.
whole time, again, I know earlier in the episode I gave her kind of her props for being so manipulative, and that still
Hmm.
stands. But in the moment watching it, I was so grossed out in a
Yeah.
way that, like, you I could see someone decapitated in this show and be like, oh, that's fine. But this, I was like, yo, let's turn this thing around. Like, I think it'd be different if it was Quinn playing against himself and actually
Right.
like him, like you're with your
Hmm.
double, and even that's weird. Like, oh, don't kiss yourself. But this was like, girl, you going to jail.
Yeah.
So that's my least favorite. That was heebie-jeebies.
Yeah. Don't watch. Then don't watch Game of Thrones.
What,
Um.
very much that.
Yeah.
But even that was like, no, yeah, you're right.
Yeah, nah, that was the biggest example of something like that I
Oh
think I've ever seen, like as far as
yeah.
like pop culture. Um, so as far as favorite scene, um, I'd probably have to go with um the I actually would go with the professor reacting to being the one that invented sliding. You know, I kind of
Yeah.
like that because we've been playing around with this whole idea of him, in some cases, being jealous. You know, the
Hmm.
jealous mentor, but then also there are other episodes where he is very supportive of um, Quinn. You know, being the one to create the sliding. So I like that. You know, he got his shine time on this world. Um, I'd say my least favorite scene would be it's like I'm trying not to just go with something with Quinn. Um I don't know, like yeah, when Quinn kept shrugging, kind of shrugging their concerns off, I think like the first time, and he was like, "Nah, just go to the hotel," and I was like, "Shit, okay, well, you gonna die." But yeah, like I think like him just telling them to go and be gone was my least favorite. So um and let's see. So out of 10 screaming Rembrandts
Oh
on the top
no.
of a train, how would you how would you rate this episode?
Um, I'll go. I want to go 6.5,
Okay.
and I think I'm gonna stick with it because that is my first mind.
Okay.
6.5 streaming Rembrandts.
Okay.
Yeah.
I- okay. So I'm in the ballpark. I'm gonna do 7 to 7.5.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, like I said, this was fun. I think definitely. I think it kind of went on a downturn with how they were handling, Rembrandt's B plot. But as
Mm-hmm.
far as the A plot, there was enough there that it felt fun, you
Yeah.
know. And I actually we didn't talk much about it, but I like the world. I like the idea of this world like struggling,
Yeah.
to for the resources. And I think
Mm-hmm.
they did a good job of kind of highlighting that
Yeah.
without kind of
Absolutely.
digging too much into it, but also not being like this abstract ass explanation for like the other
Mm-hmm.
previous world. They were like, we had a civil war and they didn't like games, so we started this horrible, Mortal Kombat. It's like, come on, you gotta give me something
Yo.
more. You gotta give me something more. So yeah,
Yeah.
but yeah, all in all, like I said, 7 to 7.5 for me for this one.
I think that's fair. I think that's fair. I don't know. I enjoyed the world too. I just wish they had have spent more time in it
Mm-hmm.
in a way that for somebody not from California to be like, oh, I get this.
Yeah,
And I was
yeah.
like, shit, whatever you tell me, I'm gonna just take it because I don't know what's going on. But yeah, I did like, and honestly, I think if they had played that up a little bit more, that
Mm-hmm.
evil video, like, yeah, we're gonna take over the resource, like that would have made maybe a little bit more sense because like, oh, we're
Mm-hmm.
struggling that bad.
Right. Because it didn't look like people were struggling. They were
Yeah,
like, that looked like, because I've been to Disney, right?
yeah,
And that looked like a Disney park to me when they were walking like Futureland or
yeah.
something. And people looked
Mm-hmm.
like tourists and they were walking around. I mean, they had to eat that horrible shit, but it was just like, and the sad thing is, and I don't know how, I don't think they would get this real,
Mm-hmm.
but Los Angeles has a unhoused like issue, right?
Yeah,
To the point where when you see like people talking about like the unhoused and the issue of that
yeah,
of nationwide, the 10 cities that you see are normally in are sometimes like very prominent in Los Angeles.
yeah.
So if you wanted a world where we needed to see people like in that
Mm-hmm.
state, and we're basically lack of resources, like you probably should have done that, right?
Yeah.
Rather than showing people like, well, this is the future and everybody's still, it's just like nobody was struggling.
Nobody.
That was yeah, no problem. So I definitely think that was a drawback, but but also I do like, I still like the world, right?
Yeah,
So,
absolutely.
but yeah, it was probably just more of a missed opportunity. So
Hmm. Yeah, I agree. I agree. It
yeah,
was it was fun. It was fun.
yeah,
Shit. So I don't know, man. Let these people know where they can find you and support you, and get their hands on the Terminus 3 anthology.
yeah. So my website is Robert K. Jeffrey, JEFFREY, RobertKJeffrey.com. Sorry for the sniffling. I'm getting over a cold.
Mm.
And Instagram is robertk.jeffrey, robertk.jeffrey. And as far as for Terminus 3, best place I always say is Amazon.
Hmm.
It's a quick way. You can get it digital or physical copies. But like I said, I'll toss a link. We'll have the links in the show notes.
Yep.
But yeah, check it out. I hope you enjoyed the story. The book is filled with. We got some massive talent in the book, so I
Hey,
think you'll enjoy it overall. It's a
good
good
deal.
read.
Good deal. Good deal. Listeners, you heard it. Getting them doggone comments, getting the links in the show notes because it's already there. We speaking from the future, or the past. I don't know, whatever. So hit me up wherever, I don't know, your local the hot dogs are sold in the textbook. I don't know. Um, Carefree Black Nerd. Just search me online. I'm there. Instagram Carefree Black Nerd. X if you're using that Carefree Blurred. TikTok Carefree Black Nerd. I think it's yeah, but just follow the podcast. Just stay here. Be on the YouTube Carefree Black Nerd as well. And shit. Until next time, stay carefree, stay nerdy, stay geeky. And if you happen to slide to various worlds for 2 years, please try to pick up some fucking survival instincts, please. Pay attention to your surroundings. This is getting weird.
Yeah.
I hope next episode we don't run into the same foolishness. Jesus Christ. Latter-day Saints, my goodness. At the very least, find a church every time you slide. That's the safest thing you can do. Jesus. All right, y'all. Shit.